Good morning,
And
Optians.
yeah,
How
Hello.
are we, guys?
Hey, everybody.
Morning. And I'm saying
morning all.
morning because it is 6 a.m. for me over in Australia. So I'm on the energy drinks and a lack of sleep, but we'll see how we go this morning. But good morning to everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is in your part of the world, and welcome to Opta's post launch and first AMA. So we just wanted to get together and obviously have a chat with all of the original holders who joined us for launch day, and any new holders that have joined us since. I think it's really important for us to, again, I guess, share who we are, what our vision is, how we got here, where we're going, especially, and also, I guess, celebrate what we've been able to achieve in the last 2 weeks, where we're all working so hard, moving forward, and we're all going at a wild pace to build what we're building, and to have success into the future. But let's also stop, take note, have a look at what we've actually been able to achieve in 2 weeks, and be really proud of where we've gotten to as well. So there is a bit of a run sheet for today, and as I said, we're just going to sort of flick around to each of the team members. Again, introduce yourself, in terms of those that were at the launch may have met most of us, but Mr. Aslan was definitely in the engine room making things happen, and getting contracts working and clicking go buttons, and doing all the hard yards during the launch time. So this is a great opportunity for, I guess, our community to meet you as well, Mr. Aslan. Myself, so I'm Jason, as you can see from my title. I'm in the community engagement space. I'm, I guess, the bridge between the community and all of these incredible brains that we have on the screen in front of us. Unfortunately, Chris is just in his actual day job at the moment, and just having a very quick meeting in his day job, but he'll be joining us in the very near future. So we're just over 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, yeah, probably 15 days since launch, 16 days, yeah, fantastic. And I think what we've managed to achieve in 15 or 16 days is just a testament to the hard work that I know all of you guys have put in, and the lack of sleep that everybody has put in, to be positioned where we are after 15 or so days, is really incredible. So, please give yourself a pat on the back, and as I said, occasionally just take stock, have a look at what we've actually managed to achieve, and be really, really proud of where we're at. But without further ado, I think we'll start off with Rich. So Rich is our head of strategy. Rich, if you just want to, I suppose, spend a couple of minutes to again introduce yourself, and give a bit of a vision as to where we're going with this and what we're doing.
Sure. So, hey, everybody. I am Rich. First, I want to start out just by thanking each and every one of you. I'm just amazed at how we've been able to pull this together in 2 weeks and be able to build a community that's pulling hard for Opta. Like, it almost brings a tear to my eye. I'm not going to cry in front of everybody, but but I'm just amazed, and super excited about this, and how we've started out, and where we've gotten to in 2 weeks. And hopefully over the next few months and the next years, we can show you exactly what our value add is going to be into this crypto space, and our vision for crypto in the future, and getting the more mass adoption of crypto by bringing, I guess, real world values and principles to it. But just a little bit more about myself. Again, I studied both economics and software engineering, which makes me a very weird individual. But I describe myself as an economist who understands how to build software, bulletproof, bomb-proof software. Most of my career has been spent working for some of the biggest banks on the planet, like Commonwealth Bank of Australia and Commonwealth Securities, Bank of America, SunTrust, Truist Bank, Wells Fargo, names Ernst & Young. And so it's always been in fintech. And so I understand the business very well. I understand where all those institutions have an advantage over retail investors and little people. And that's part of my vision, is to help level that playing field, because I spent so much time building their systems to make them billions of dollars. imagine a world where we give that kind of tech that the hedge funds are using, and that, the Merrill Lynches are using in the world, and giving that to everybody and let them use it to their advantage to benefit from it, not just the banks. So that's kind of where my head is with this, and getting that type of tech using AI and machine learning in neural networks that help everyone utilize the same strategies that these big institutions making billions of dollars over while everyone else is just, trying to figure out, where should I put my $1,000? Well, our goal is to help you turn that $1,000 into $100,000, and that's our main focus. When I was coming up with the value and the vision for Opta, I'm like, what do we focus on? Do we focus on making trades? Do we focus on the tech? Do we focus on, building blockchain and smart contracts? I'm like, no, what we need to really focus on is maximizing the value for our holders in our community. And if we maximize the value and maximize the money that people are making with this token, we will then get the volume, we'll get the throughput, we will get the huge community that we're looking for. We'll get, the funds to start building all of this infrastructure that we need to do. So that's where we're going to focus on, is helping our community maximize, this opportunity, and maximize the money that can make using our portfolios, using our trading bots, and using the other technology that we're hopefully going to be able to create in the future.
It's a really big vision. When we initially got together and we spoke about the vision of Opta, and we really got inside your brain, Rich, it was very much, oh wow, this is an optimistic plan. This is an optimistic guy. But I think after working with you for a period of time and understanding that background, and understanding how your weird and wonderful mind works, it's not impossible. Bridging this gap, which is something that there's a lot of projects out there trying to do, bridge this gap between real world finance and crypto finance. I don't think we have anyone probably more suited to understanding what that actually means than you do. Which is fantastic, but it is going to be an extremely big task. There's a lot of work involved in this, but I know we've definitely got the brain power there. Saying that, obviously, we've also got our developer, Chris, who is just another exceptional talent, and he's working hand in hand with you around, I guess, how we bring that to life and what utility then looks like, to start bridging that gap. Now, it's all not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in 3 months. This is a very big project.
Definitely not.
But we'll throw it over to Chris to I guess talk about what that first stage looks like. How do we go to market and start getting something tangible out there for our community to start using? So, welcome aboard, Chris.
Yeah, sure. I definitely am very privileged to be part of this team. I've known Rich for a while now, and we were part of another project that was kind of similar. It was also another finance, project, a fintech project, and the experience that I learned from that we learned from that, we'll bring to this, to this project definitely. But a little bit about me. I'm a data analyst / data scientist / AI engineer. I've been in this world for quite a while. I did some research on AI back in grad school. Been published. Done lots of great projects over the years in AI, and kind of in jumping into this new thing, supposedly new, even though I've been around it for a while, this Gen AI. I'm building, something to, to help with, trades, automatic trades, using Gen AI. That's part of what I'm doing, as part of this project. I'm a developer. I just love code, love anything to do with that. As far as crypto goes, I'm relatively new, and that's where I just feel very lucky to be, part of this project. I'm learning so much about crypto. These guys, Aslan, Crispy, Jason, Rich, their experience in crypto is it's blowing me away. I'm so happy to be, part of that group and be able to learn how to bring a project, from start to finish. I've seen this from, okay, we didn't even know what the name of it was going to be, to, wow, now we're up to almost $1 million, market cap. Like, how the heck did that happen? Oh my God. This is just an amazing project. So as far as what that idea of this coin is, this token, it isn't just a meme token. It isn't something that's just to compete with all that stuff over on Sol. This just doesn't have anything behind it. It's just just pure trading. We're building stuff that is being fueled by this project, and we'll fuel this project also. First one is a portfolio, a place where you can see all of your investments, your crypto investments to start with, all in one place, and we will add to it. We'll add the ability to buy crypto, buy Opta. We've already added that to the website, so this will also be part of this portfolio. And then we'll start to merge this, with traditional finance, like other, you'll be able to keep your credit cards, your bank accounts, keep everything all in one place. That was that was the other project that I was working on, was a wallet, much like that. So, but we're starting with, in the crypto world, and, we'll extend that way. And we're adding this trading bot, to help automate, some trading, some smart trading, give you really good direction, on managing your finances. So that's me, and what we're trying to build. It's not going to be done overnight, like Rich says, but we've got it started, and we'll just keep pushing forward, and get this done. I'm just very excited to see what comes of this. So
yeah, fantastic, Chris. Thanks, mate. Yeah, look, when we first sort of spoke about this initial utility, and like most of the community, it was like, oh, another sort of application that you open up to see your portfolio. There's plenty of them out there, so what's that point of difference? What's unique with this? And the moment we started to get into Rich's mind and your mind, and say that we're, to have that ability where you can open up an app and not just see your crypto worth, your crypto portfolio, and what that looks like, as well as trading strategies and bots and things to help you create wealth in that space, but to be able to bridge that so that you don't then have to go and open up your banking application to see what your savings account is holding, or what your credit card balance is, everything, to have your entire financial, position in one application is something revolutionary that and especially for older folk like me, that has to go and open 3, 4, 5 different apps and try and understand exactly what's where and where everything, to have it all in one central location is going to be groundbreaking in itself. So again, really well done to what you guys are initially working on, and I know we can't say too much, but that's phase one. There's still some really wild and hairy stuff that we've got planned for the future and after that. So really great to have you on board, Chris. Advice in terms of crypto is any color that you have left in your hair, expect that to be gone in the next 12 months. You'll be Snow White like me. Anyway, moving on. Let's flick it over to Aslan. So Aslan, as I said, was in the engine room and was doing a lot of work on launch day, so he probably didn't get an opportunity to meet you all and to sort of share his backstory. But Mr. Aslan is literally what I say is the engine room. He is the guy that glues everything together and keeps everything moving, keeps websites going. He's the contract guy. He is just so extensive in crypto and educates everybody every day. And he's also going to just, I guess, have a chat, Aslan, through these security features that we've put in place, because I know a lot of community holders, especially with the history of where we've come from, would be very concerned about security. They've been through a little bit of a rough road over their crypto journey. So I'll throw it over to you to have a chat about that.
Thanks, Jason. So a quick background about myself. I have been in crypto from the past decade or so, and I've seen a lot of bull runs, a lot of bear runs as well. And I've been in multiple projects as in multiple roles. I have done a few NFT collections on my own just for the testing and the fun of it. I've also built a few contracts just for the fun of it and the learning phase. So it's more like, I started off with crypto with only an intention of making money, and just that, it was kind of enticing that you put in $100 and you can get $1,000 out of it. The first investment that I did was ETH, and that was through an exchange, which was totally new for me. All I knew was, the normal stock trading. So I thought crypto was somewhat similar to the same. I just created an exchange account, just put in some money over there, and then bought some ETH, held it, traded it for a short duration, and then just left it there. But to my bad luck, or to probably my good luck as well, the exchange kind of shut down, and I lost all the ETH and the investments that I had made on that particular exchange. So that kind of triggered a thing inside me that, okay, if this is where I actually need to invest and this is happening in the future, I need to learn ins and outs of crypto and the blockchain technology. So that's when I took a 2.5 year break, learned about blockchain, started learning about crypto, how it operates, how everything ties together. And that knowledge is where I utilized to come back and start investing in crypto again. Now, after which I thought, okay, with all the knowledge that I have gained, and with a lot of people who are there who are much more knowledgeable than me, the only medium that I would actually be able to meet these guys would be through the social platforms. The best social platform that I could choose for myself would be YouTube, because there I would be able to advertise or probably share my knowledge through my own way, instead of having restrictions or what you can say, kind of certain limitations in terms of what you can share. In certain other socials like Twitter has those word limits, and you have Reddit, which is kind of very stringent about crypto policies and crypto words and stuff like that. So it was more like a free platform for me on YouTube, and much more convenient, because I would like to probably be much more transparent and speak the way that I feel about any of the other projects that I would be probably looking at. Right. So that's the reason I chose YouTube as a platform. I started my own channel. I started doing multiple token videos, be it reviews and stuff. And then I started doing educational videos under the Crypto Wisdom playlist. So this is how I kind of started. I met a few good people in crypto as well. And then, my knowledge just started expanding. So that's my journey in crypto. On the real world side, as to what Aslan is in his real life, I have a kid who is 13 months now, and I work for a pretty big multinational company, and I'm a process lead. I design processes. I was in operations from the past 15 years. I have experience of around 17 years in total. But in operations, I hold somewhere around 10 to 12 years duration. So right now I design processes for a multi-billion-dollar company, where you go ahead and create workflows, you probably enhance workflows existing and stuff like that. That's what I do for my day job. OPTA just happened, to be honest. I mean, Archangel was one of my favorite projects on a personal note, and I've also been hosting. I was a co-host with CryptoCaddy and CryptoQuester on the Arca Cafe sessions that we have had multiple times in the past 2 years. And as to the recent debacle with that kind of happened because of one single bad person in the entire Arca community. This entire team came together, and now we have OPTA in place. So it was really great. I mean, it just came out of the blue, and it so kind of happened that we met people with like-minded thought process, and here we are with OPTA and the launch and other stuff. So I'm really excited for what's up and coming in the in the future days, as well as I'm really excited to work with the current team that we have right now. All the four of the others in the team are simply excellent. Each one of them hold their own what I can say traits, which are very much required for a project to progress. And I don't know if I can share this secret or not. Jason, stop me if I'm sharing too much, but even though we look all Hashimush, no, Hush and Mush, and we are like good friends, we do have a lot of arguments in our TG group. So
Heated discussions.
it's a war. Okay.
Yeah, I think the terminology you're looking for is robust discussion for the best possible outcome. That's what we'll call it. Which is fantastic. Thanks, Aslan. We're going to throw over to Crispy Rob. So Crispy is our product lead. Crispy works very closely with myself in that sort of marketing strategy, go-to-market strategy, community engagement piece. And Crispy's strengths really lie in his experience in crypto. But he is what we call our out-of-the-box thinker. Some of the ideas that this guy comes up with, we initially go, what is he smoking? But then once you sit down and put a bit of thought to it, go, wow, this guy's actually a bit of a genius because nobody's thought of that before. And this is a fantastic direction for us to potentially go in. So let's throw it over to Mr. Crispy just to have a little bit of a chat around that sort of marketing proposition and go-to-market strategy.
Sure. Thank you, Jason, for that wonderful introduction. As people might guess, that out-of-the-box thinking, I cause a lot of those robust conversations. My role with Opta has me kind of in everybody's pocket a little bit, so I make some waves in our chats, but they're all for good reason. Like Jason said, I work with him very strong with the marketing, and I also like to think of myself as sort of the visionary with our product. Like I said, I will come up with really off-the-wall things and present it to our developers and say, hey, is this possible to code? Because I have an idea that you might like. I've been in crypto for 8, almost 9 years now. I first started out as a day trader, just making trade after trade after trade on a centralized exchange. Worked my way into working with project teams and how to develop their projects. And then for the past maybe 3 or so years, I found myself in an advisory role for a number of successful projects that are out there, which I hope to continue to do along with my work with Opta. I've known Mr. Iceland for a while, I've known Jason for a while. And yeah, when this team formed and I saw the members who were coming on board, I thought, all right, this is an all-star team. I mean, I know half the team already in their background. We're putting together a really strong unit, and it's only continued to prove that point week after week. I mean, what we've accomplished in less than a month is beyond me. And I can't be happier with our progress. I am a huge advocate for mass adoption, and I know every project loves to say, oh yeah, we're going to go for mass adoption, but are they doing anything to actually adopt the masses? They're not. And that's where a few of my ideas, some of them we've already implemented, really come into play to attract those people who have no exposure to crypto to actually get involved and start owning crypto.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. We're going to open it up to some questions. If people have questions, just pop them in the chat. I can see one question's already come through there from Lee. Yep, thank you for that. And I guess it's probably going to go over to you, Crispy, and myself. And that is, what is the plan to have new holders joining every day? And I think from my point of view, it's the timing of what we put into that go-to-market strategy piece. We've been exceptionally good so far in the first couple of weeks of, as we're calling it, dropping bombs at exactly the right time to keep people engaged, to keep people turning up, to keep people joining the TG. 550 TG members in 2 weeks, 1,200 on Twitter. The numbers would suggest that the go-to-market strategy is working quite well, and is something that we are understanding, and Rich had a really great point in our wonderful 10-hour meeting or whatever it was the other day. In terms of marketing is very much the key in this initial stages. Okay, and when we understand that, and getting our brand out there and getting people knowing about the brand as quickly as possible and into our TG nice and early, getting them invested, getting them part of the family, as I call it, and then the rest will flow from there. But Crispy, you can have a bit of a chat there in terms of, I guess, what that, without too much detail, we don't want to give away all our secrets, but what that strategy looks like.
Yeah. So there's 1,000,001 ways to market in crypto. They all have their strengths. They have their weaknesses. The best strategy I find is you have to diverse yourself into all the different forms, right? I mean, influencers have a place in crypto, of course. People may think wildly different things about them, but they have their place. Banners on websites are another thing that you either love them or you hate them, but they do have their place. We also have to look into more unorthodox forms of marketing, which we are, and we have had discussions about. Because like I said, we still need to attract that 94% of the population that doesn't own crypto. Just keeping crypto a tight-knit community is not going to be sustainable for the future. So we do have to branch out. And that's kind of a unique problem because these people don't know what crypto is. They've never seen it. Most people just think it's a scam, at first face value. So we have to tailor our advertisements to say, to kind of work with them and show them something that they're familiar with, but to get them into crypto. That's where I think our portfolio app is really going to shine because it's something that the majority of the population is already used to. Everybody, or at least everybody, should be tracking their finances, right? It's the smart thing to do. But with the right advertisements, we can slowly and gradually bring these people into crypto. And along with, like I said, the classic crypto marketing, we have quite a number of things lined up, and I'm not going to give away too much information. That would spoil a lot of the surprises. But for everyone who likes to ask the classic when marketing question, I would just say, just watch. You're going to see when marketing is going to come. You'll know.
when marketing now.
You will know. That's right. It's
Absolutely.
never going to stop. Really, you can't stop. It's the most important tool you can have in a project.
Fantastic. And I think that, as I said, there are other projects out there that have probably tried really to bridge this gap between what we would consider real world finance and crypto. But then all the marketing is very crypto centric. It's all about driving that crypto space and getting everybody in. Having this vision of ensuring that our marketing strategy is also about getting that go-to-market branding right into the real world. That's where we want to be fishing. That we want those people to start looking at crypto seriously and wanting to come over to crypto and start investing their money into crypto. And a big part of that marketing strategy really is to do what we say we're going to do, and that is to get some of these real world investors to come in and dip your toes in the water. And it's really not that scary. And yes, there's a lot of bad people in crypto, but if you find the right projects where people are happy to show their face and happy to put their hand up and say, this is me, there are some trustworthy people still left in crypto. And luckily we've managed to put a whole stack of those together. I've got some questions as well just to throw out there, but anyone else can throw some in there. Anthony, yes, mate, please throw a question out there, my friend. There is a little bit of a delay from what you type to when we see it in the back end here, but throw it in there and we'll get to it. I'll just throw a couple of, questions out there. And as questions come in from you guys, I'll jump onto those ones. The one that I think people would be really interested in, Aslan, is again that security piece in the back end. What is it that Opta has done to really make this as secure as possible? Now, the obvious ones are, liquidity is locked, the team is fully doxed, and here we are with our beautiful faces, in front of the world, and they're not scared or hiding behind, Mickey Mouse 1, 2, 3 names or these things. This is who we are. But what else have we put in place just to ensure that security for our holders?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jason. So, when we speak of crypto security as such, as much as we try to make it ironclad, there are always loopholes that people find, right? So the best possible security outcome that we can look at the current scenario right now is to, one, ensure that our contract is having that bot protection in place. Our contract is kind of not having any such loopholes. And second is our liquidity pool. So if you safeguard your contract and liquidity pool, then that means that you can safeguard your project to the max extent. Uh, Now, with the contract itself, the major flaw with the previous project that we kind of have seen, which led to that issue, was that single person was kind of in control of the contract. Now, I totally understand at that point of time when the contract was built and had there was no option of having a multi-sig being an owner of a contract and stuff. But now we have that opportunity to utilize that and leverage that as a security input. So initially, what happened to run the functions and have those contract changes made, we had that under single ownership. I had the ownership of the contract, but now that contract, as soon as the changes were made and the couple of days post launch, once we saw that everything as on the function front is working as intended, we have transferred the ownership to the multisig wallet. So not any one single person is in control of any of the changes that can be made to the contract. So, or the only way that anyone can change any aspect of the contract would be through the multisig, and any initiation of transaction through the multisig will only be happening based on the number of signs that we five of us would be doing, right? So, considering that as a very major step in the security aspect, your contract is now actually safe because not one person is in control of it. Now, when it comes to the liquidity pool aspect as well, the liquidity pool is also under control of a single wallet. However, it is locked. Now, you could say, okay, when it unlocks, then we'll obviously have that same person unlocking the LP and probably draining the LP altogether. But, well, we found another way to even make that more secure by adding the multisig wallet itself as the wallet that could unlock the LP. So even when the unlock time period comes after the 1 year duration that we have locked it for, the multisig alone will be the one that can unlock it, not not the person who had that LP in the initial phase where the Uniswap LP was created, right? So even there, we have this additional security measure to ensure that even at the time of unlock, it only happens to the multisig with multiple people agreeing upon it and from the team rather than one single person having control over it. So these are the two major security aspects that we have taken up in terms of having our contract and our LP safeguarded from any one single line of control. Now, when it comes to other security aspects related to future security issues or other stuff that kind of comes up, our contract is kind of flexible to incorporate as much as changes as possible. However, again, depending on technology and the changes that would happen, we would look at any pivots that we would have to make in the contract itself. But there are other alternatives that we can go with, where we do not need to have a V2 version for Opta. But yeah, this is the initial stage of where we are right now, and I can probably assure that this would be the I mean, we have kind of almost closed all the loops that we could find from our side, from the developer side, to both the LP and the contract front. The only kind of scams that might happen or kind of issues that might arise would be from the front end, that is the user end on the wallet front. Well, you go ahead and connect your wallet to some scam or shady site, or you just share your CFAs by miss with someone else and then they just drain your wallet. So that's the front end exposure that people would be put into to all the scams that are out there. So just a word of caution, please be careful about all those unauthorized links. So the only way that you can actually find any and every information about Opta would be the website, our official website, that's optaglobal.com, which is also coming in the ticker below, as well as the Telegram group that we have and the Twitter account. So apart from these three sources, please ensure that you do not connect your wallet to any other website or any other Telegram group.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate side of crypto. Unfortunately, as projects become successful, the scammers come out very quickly, and I think there's already been a second Opta site that's popped up on TG, and we were having a giggle before. I think we're up to about 17 fake Crispy Robs that are DMing people in the so they really love to pick up on Crispy's name.
Can I add something quickly to this conversation?
Absolutely, Rich.
in the banking finance world, security is a culture, and they drive security. Like, we have to take all these compliance classes and security classes, and most of the security that we need is right here. And again, it's we in the banking finance world tend to not trust anyone or anything. And so when you work in a bank, you can't connect your laptop to anything. You can't even connect to sites that you need to do your job, like downloading code snippets like that, without getting permission. So we don't really trust. We have to trust somebody we verify that we are connecting to a legitimate source that isn't going to be nefarious and do something, either install something. And so that's the first line of defense is always, don't trust anyone, don't trust anything, always verify to see if it's true and real. And again, that includes us. None of us are ever going to DM you directly. We're always going to say something in the general chat room and say, hey, I'm going to send you a DM. And even then, ask us to verify ourselves, because there are people out there that are kind of cloning Crispy in particular. It's always, always question, always verify who and what you're dealing with, and that's how we will operate with everything. Anyone we add to the team will have to go through a rigorous grilling process, and we need to trust and verify who they are. We need to make sure they're fully doxxed. We need to know where they live and where to find them if things do go wrong. So that's the big point of keeping things secure is to
Yeah.
make sure that you are the first line defense for that security. By
100%, and I think early on, Rich, we very much together said, we all like each other. We're going to work together for many years, but we have a duty of care to our holders to not trust each other at all. And I always use the saying that people are always murdered by those closest to them. There's always someone they know that studies them. So, whilst we are going to be working together for years, and we have a duty of care to not trust each other, and whilst sometimes it's more difficult, as Aslan just said, we've now figured out a way that when the LP does unlock and then we need to relock it, that nobody will be in control of that contract or LP wallet to be able to do anything nefarious. Even though you could sit there and say, "Oh, we're 100% positive no one would do anything nefarious." Well, so was everybody, every other project where somebody in the team did something that nobody ever saw coming. So we will always protect to make sure that whilst no one will ever do anything, it just can't happen. Anyway, for the interest of time, because we do want to sort of try and keep this to that sort of 45-minute range, there's not many other questions in there, so I've got some questions just to throw at you guys, just to keep you on your toes, and I guess probably preempt what a lot of people are sort of asking or thinking out there. I'm going to throw over to you, Chris, and I know you can't give away too much detail because we don't want to throw out exactly what we're doing, because there's a lot of people out there that will jump on that and try and emulate it quicker than we can produce it. But what is that real point of difference for our initial utility? And I'd probably touch on a little bit that the overall utility is going to be a one-stop shop for everything crypto and real-world finance in one place. But what's going to make it sort of unique to some of those applications that are out there?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. One, just a point about it being, unique. Even if it's not unique, there's so much space in this area for innovation. There's so much need for, having, we're moving to a digital world these days. Our digital currency, everything is. So, having all of that, in one place, in an app, it's just gonna, make life so much easier, and then tie it, to crypto, where, that's really the future of money, is even becoming more virtual, cross-border, a currency that, isn't tied to one particular government, that, which is what crypto is, which is, just it's where we're going. So we need to make this more accessible to not just in the U.S. but anywhere in the world. Because I mean that's it really, with the way currencies are in different countries, having the ability to have something solid like this ETH or Bitcoin or something. In our country, we don't think of those as being very solid, but in other parts of the world, it's how people live. Their currency, local currency, isn't worth anything. So what we can do is make that more accessible to them. Get it available so they can buy whatever they need with their own currency. That's kind of the direction that we're going. Aside from adding the ability to make smart investments, giving good suggestions. I won't say advice because that's taking a whole other world, but just making sure people know where things are going, what the sentiment's like. We're starting with the sentiment bot, and then it's going to look at the numerics, trading, and that's going to be part of this app, and it's really just coming from this group, this project. So very excited to be part of this.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. We do have another question that's popped in, and I guess it's a bit of John has asked for a perspective on exchanges, and the reliance on exchanges. And everyone may have a different take on this. I'll just give you mine quickly, but then we might just throw over to more of the strategy side, which is probably Rich on this one. Exchanges can play a really pivotal part in driving volume for a project. And people, I think, sometimes get obsessed with how many exchanges you get on or how quickly you get on exchanges and so forth. So in terms of driving volume, yes, they are fantastic. We're in a lucky position where a lot of us have been around in crypto for a very long time, that we've seen some projects make some very big mistakes when it comes to exchanges. And the biggest mistake that I see people make, and you'll see it in some other larger projects out there without naming names, is that when things are good and during the bull run and volume is there and things are flowing, to try and keep that momentum, they will list on Bitmart, LBank, OKX. They'll list on 7, 8, 9 different exchanges. Now, from an operational point of view, these exchanges have minimum expectations that need to be met for you to stay on their exchange. So that's a minimum daily volume through their exchange. And when you start getting up to 7, 8, and 9, there is the other side of the bull run, and that's called a bear market, as we all know. And once you get into that bear market and you're now got 6, 7, 8 exchanges that you are trying to keep up with a minimum daily volume, but crypto is just dead, then effectively the project needs the funds there to be able to artificially keep volume going through all of these exchanges so that you don't get delisted. And the moment you start getting delisted, well, of course, holders are up in arms because all of a sudden they're having to pull their tokens out of an exchange because they're no longer going to be listing that moving forward. So my view on is exchanges are very, very important. Like I've said with everything, timing is very, very important, and ensuring that you're not overstretching resources by getting too excited too quickly and getting too many exchanges on board. That's my view. Has anyone else got any view on that?
Yeah, I can take over from, and I agree with what Jason says. Getting on the right exchanges is key to help driving volume and growth. But to me, that segment of the market, like they're already participating in crypto if they're in an exchange. So that's the 5-6% of the people that are already engaging in crypto. I guess where we want to help drive mass adoption is to make this easy for the other 94% of the people who aren't comfortable going to an exchange or dealing with MetaMask and all the nightmare stuff that we have to deal with currently. I envision a world where one day, my 92-year-old mother-in-law can go off and buy crypto, and with clicking on a button in a smart wallet, and can buy crypto and check her bank account in the real world and check on her investments. And that's the portion of the market that hasn't been tapped yet, and nobody's really gotten through. Because again, using MetaMask, my rule for using MetaMask and doing transactions is don't do it sick, don't do it tired, and don't do it if you've been drinking, because you can make a mistake and lose a bunch of money. And so we want to make it much easier for people to get engaged with crypto and to buy crypto. And again, using things like Flues and other tools that can help them easily access and buy crypto without fear of losing their money or losing tokens. And to me, getting on the exchanges is important short term, but long term is getting people who are afraid to engage with this technology to start using it by giving them smart tools to do it with.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, in short, John, yes, we're not opposed to exchanges. They're a vital part of keeping volume. You just have to be very strategic and ensure that you're not overreaching or over stretching in times when the flow through is not as high as the outgoings, and that's where a lot of projects get themselves in trouble. They get themselves built to a certain stage, and then when that money flow stops on the other side of the bull cycle, then they're in all sorts of trouble trying to keep the back end going and get through that bear market, and that's why you lose so many projects in the bear market. We're going to wrap up in just a couple of minutes. I've got one for Crispy because I know this is a big topic at the moment. We all know that crypto adoption is inevitable. That the move from crypto into real world, I have no doubt that in another probably 30 or 40 years there'll be no such thing as fiat currency. Everyone will have their own cryptocurrency and if not just a world currency that everybody works off together. But obviously with that understanding is governments are now trying to regulate the industry. So can you just have a quick chat, I guess, Crispy, in terms of how we are looking at those regulations consistently and making sure that what we're building here is not going to come into, I guess, too much speculation later?
Sure. I mean, as you guys can vouch for in our executive chat there, I am doing a lot of research into regulations and rules that are coming in. I've also been fortunate enough to make a lot of good connections in the compliance world, who will constantly feed me information on, hey, you guys might want to look at XYZ because regulations are coming that might consider that your project a security. So I'm constantly doing research. Regulations, personally, I thought they would have been here by now after 2021. They're not. They're kind of lagging behind. There is a lot more gray area in crypto now that we have to be careful of, and that's why certain utilities that might have been a given for projects a couple years ago that every project was doing, we decided not to do because that gray area is increasingly becoming more black and white. And we don't want to get into a position where, we launch a utility or we launch a specific item in the project and then have to reel it back because now that would consider us a security, which we would then have to stop operations, go through all of this legal red tape, KYC every single holder to keep their assets. And it's just a mess you don't want to get into unless you're financially ready for it. In the future, who knows? There might be a separate entity that is a security that will go down that road, but it's a huge heavy lift. So we always have to be very careful not to push that envelope too far. Like I said, I have a number of very good friends that I've been very fortunate to make who are compliance officers in their day job, and they constantly, no matter what question I have for them, they're ready to answer it. Like, hey, can we do this? Is this legal? Is that fine? And they're right there to answer it. And of course, with my own research, I'm learning every day.
Yeah, I
and the team will tell you that.
I feel there's a few more sleepless nights on that subject moving forward.
Yeah.
As I say, that's forever changing. Those grey areas are becoming a little bit more black and white, and
Right.
just being on top of that and ensuring that we're not
and the
moving
more
in any direction.
successful, the more successful your project gets, the more the gray area becomes black and white.
And the more attention you get from the feds.
Right. And it's kind of a joke that, well, if the SEC is sending you letters, you're doing something right. It's great. Yeah, it is true to an
Until
extent.
you're in handcuffs.
But we also don't want to have to pay, $1,500 per hour for a lawyer to let the SEC know what we're doing is legal, right? But yeah, we have a lot of attention in that sector, and when regulations come, we'll be ready for them. When they will come, who knows? Could be tomorrow, could be in 5 years.
But we have to assume that they are going to come. With mass adoption, will come regulate. It's just inevitable, And unfortunately, DeFi started out, everyone was going to do good, and then you look at recent news, you look at TZ, you look at Sam Bankman-Fried, and doing things they shouldn't be doing, and that's what's going to ruin it for everybody. And so the more losses and the more bad behaviors and the more money that disappears, the more the governments globally are going to be forced to regulate it to protect people from losing money.
Yep.
And it's a good thing and a bad thing. It will drive mass adoption. Once people feel it's safe and secure, you will get everyone joining in on it. And so you're not going to be able to run from security. I mean, from regulation or the SEC. You're going to have to embrace every project out there. Sooner or later, we'll have to embrace it, and we'll have to deal with it.
Yeah,
that's just it.
And
100%. Look, in interest of time, we obviously don't want it to drag on too long, and we know that some of our meetings can go for hours and hours and hours. So just to quickly pull it back, we will have future AMAs. Please, any questions that you want answered in future AMAs, or even just answered for any of the team, that's what the TG is for. Throw those questions in there, and any of the team members are happy to come back and share some light in those areas. For myself personally, it's great to get in front of the community, to show our faces and to say, here we are, this is us, this is what we're doing. We have a very diverse team, I think which is a really key strength to a great project, is having that diversity. We have a lot of different mindsets, a lot of different professional acumen in lots of different areas. And we have lots of robust discussion because there's no egos in this team. We can challenge each other, and challenges of each other's ideas or thoughts are not taken personally. We sit down and try and understand why we have differing opinions on certain topics or subjects. And after many, many hours of debate, we will generally come to a resolution in terms of that direction or what it looks like. And in many cases, we change each other's mindsets, and we influence each other's thinking after hearing the perspective and I guess the expertise of somebody in that area, because we don't know it all. And we're not developers that are going to sit in front of you and go, the ultimate developer, I know everything about crypto, you can't tell me anything. We will learn as we go, we will work with each other as we go, but we will also ensure that everything we do is for the benefit of our community, the benefit of our holders, the security of our community, the security of our holders. And I think as long as we have those core values, then we will have huge success. So thank you everybody for making the time, and thank you to this incredible community. We've got some amazing people that are now in the TG, and they worked so hard, shilling this token and building those socials and getting our brand and our name out there. And it does take a community to build a token. It can't all just be done with money, guys. People can throw money at everything, but we know that people can throw a lot of money in marketing of crypto and get absolutely noticed. The best marketing is word of mouth. It's you telling your friends, your family, hey, I've got a really solid project here, and I'm invested in this, and this is what they're doing. And when this vision comes together, it could potentially change the landscape of crypto. And this is a great early time to get involved in a project like that. It's those sort of selling points that throwing a few $1,000s at a banner on a website is not going to deliver that brand messaging that works. It's just throwing a few $1,000s onto a banner on a website, which might get one or two people to see it and click on it. So anyway, thank you all for your time. Has anyone got us anything else that they really 100% want to say, or we're going to wrap it up?
I just want to say a big thank you to the entire community for all the support and love that they've been showing us. And yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. All right, guys. As I said, we will have plenty of these AMAs. You will get to learn and see these pretty faces.
How about that?
As we go along this journey. But thank you, everybody, for your time. And let's just continue the hard work and let's push this as hard as we can.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers.